So the Donald Trump clown show continues, and today we got some more details and analysis of Trump's big, beautiful bill. That's what they're calling it. And it's coming from the Congressional Budget Office. I want to go over the numbers, what they're saying, and let's just jump right in. So this is the headlines from the Wall Street Journal. GOP mega bill boosts wealthy households while hurting poor. And again, this is the CBO. This is nonpartisan. And if you don't know, there are people out there who just look at the numbers. They just run the numbers and want to give an honest assessment of, what someone's economic plan or tax bill would do. Also, if you understand what's going on right now, yes, the headlines are about a senator being attacked. I made a video on this, and yes, you need to see this video if you haven't already. But there's multiple things always going on, and sometimes I feel like that we're focusing on the wrong things. This stuff I like to talk about because I think numbers matter quite a bit. Let's just go through and see what this thing says together. It says here, Washington, Republican tax and spending mega bill would give more money to middle income and high income households while taking benefits away from low income people. And that's according to the Congressional Budget Office analysis, right? So again, nonpartisan, just government hires people, look at the numbers, tell me what you see. If you don't know, I was recruited by these people out of college because I like doing this kind of stuff. I like just crunching numbers and giving you honest assessments of this stuff. So for me, I think the CBO numbers are pretty good, what they say. So let's go some more. It says here, the study by Congress's nonpartisan scorekeeper looks at the combined effects of many of the House bill's tax reductions and its cuts to federal programs, including Medicaid and nutrition assistance, right? So Republicans want to get rid of any kind of healthcare kind of benefits or food stuff, right? Republican-controlled Senate has considered changes to the measure, which passed the House last month as lawmakers try to meet a July 4th goal to get the measure to the president's desk. And this bill is actually widely unpopular. I think chances are they're probably going to change this stuff, but that's why you want to look at what they're trying to pass, because you never know, right? If the public is unaware and if they're focused on too much of the clowny aspects of the clown show, they ignore the numbers. And what are the numbers? Well, it actually gives it to you. It says the bill's benefits increase steadily with income. So the more you make, basically the richer you are, you more benefit under Trump. The poorer you are, the more you'll get hurt, right? So benefits to the rich, hurt the poor. That's Trump's plan. Households near the middle income of the distribution would see their resources increase because of the bill by an annual average of $500 to $1,000. Okay, so if you're in the middle, maybe you'll get a benefit of $500 to $1,000, providing a boost worth 0.5% to 0.8% of their income. The top 10% of households, right, so the wealthier in the U.S., would see a gain of about $12,000 or about 2.3% of their income. And right there, you can see major differences between who the bill benefits and who it hurts. Largely because of tax cuts, right? So tax cuts for the wealthy. That is all compared with current law, a scenario in which Trump's 2017 tax cuts expire, scheduled December 31st. On average, according to CBO, the bottom 30% of households would come out worse off, losing household resources. Income groups above that get more resources than they would under the current law on average. The bottom 10% of households would lose about $1,600 because of benefit cuts, equal to about 3.9% of their income. And so one of the things that I think is important to think about when you talk about this stuff is just think about the whole system, right? Not just, yourself, maybe people in the top 10%. It's like, you know what? I really need that extra $12,000. I only make whatever, $2 million a year. And I just really want that extra $12,000 or whatever. And I want to, more boost to my income because I'm just really, really struggling. I'm making a joke here. But the thing is like when you look at the bottom 10% and they're losing $1,600, say, in services that they need to stay afloat. I mean, you're going to have unemployment skyrocket. You're going to have poverty skyrocket. Again, you're going to have the wealth disparity gap increase. Maybe that's what some people want. I'll just tell you, though, it doesn't deem for a healthy society. And that's kind of what we're looking at, an unhealthy society under Trump. Overall, the House bill would increase budget deficits. So not only do you have a imbalance of who the bill helps and who the bill hurts, you're also basically putting out there numbers that just don't add up, right? More deficit spending, more national debt. Again, overall, the House bill would increase budget deficits by 2.4 trillion over a decade. It also includes money for border security and national defense, right? So our numbers don't add up, but hey, let's spend more money on more deportations and more weapons. That's what we're talking about. And you know, Trump really wants his Golden Dome thing. He's worried about missiles hitting the USA or that kind of stuff. It's the same kind of Star Wars stuff that Reagan was talking about. And chances are that Golden Dome stuff is really just a way to subsidize Trump, because not Trump, sorry, Musk, because you know Musk is really hurting for money. It's a joke, of course, but I just want to understand like sort of what this is all about. Republicans say that estimate misses the economic growth bill, a growth the bill would create, and they also point to trillions in tariff revenue that isn't in the bill but could help cover its costs. Okay, so the Republican argument, because I want to just tell you what it is that, well, you know, if you give all these tax cuts to the wealthy, to the richest, they're going to get the economic engines going, right? And it's going to be trickle down for everyone. That's their plan. They say that the wealthy are going to share all their wealth with you. All those rich CEOs who make a lot more than their regular workers, and I mean like 10x, 100x, 1000x, depending on which company that you work at. That they're going to take pay cuts and just share all the money with you, right? As if that's ever going to happen. And you guys should know this stuff inherently. I mean, this is why you got to talk about this stuff in an honest way. Republicans say that their bill is essential to preventing a tax increase in 2026 and that the economy, working households would suffer if the tax cuts expire. But again, you have to look at the numbers. The numbers, just to be clear, just as on average, if you're in the middle, maybe you'll get an extra 500 to 1,000. If you're towards the top, maybe you'll get around 12,000. If you're at the bottom, you're going to be losing 1,600. So the numbers seem unbalanced to me. In my opinion, and I talk about this stuff several times on the channel, I think you should invest in the public, be it public transportation, education, public health care, parks, any number of these kind of things. And if you develop a healthier system, it benefits everyone, not just a few. When you have greater divides in society, again, poverty will go up, unemployment will go up, crime statistics will go up, all of these kind of things. And, it's obvious to me too, and it's obvious to the World Bank under Trump's plan, growth is going to go down. And so the Republicans are always just making this nonsense up about the trickle-down stuff that doesn't work. World Bank sees U.S. growth rate halving as tariffs slow global economy. And you have to think about this also. As Trump wants to basically effectively increase your taxes with the tariffs, people will likely spend less. So they keep saying, oh yeah, we're going to generate all this tax revenue with tariffs. Well, but if prices are too elevated, people just stop buying, right? People just don't have any money anymore. And growth is going to slow, and you're seeing it around the world. And talking about the world, much of the world hates Trump. It's only like these crazy people in the USA that like him. People asked me about this before. They said, why didn't Canada make the top list of people who don't like Trump? Because I showed you the data on this before, and I just want to show you where Canada kind of fits in. And I'll just tell you guys, it is a competitive market around the world to who dislikes Trump the most. So according to this is confidence in Trump as a world leader. And for those of you watching this channel, tell me which country you're in and sort of where you fit in on this chart. It says a percentage of people who have confidence in Trump to do the right thing. So in Canada, and this is many Canadians are saying, where are we on the list? Because I didn't talk about last time. I'll talk about specifically this time. So about 77% of Canadians don't have confidence in Trump to do the right thing. 66% of them say not at all, none at all, right? And then 11% is not too much. So 77% is Canada. So the leader on this chart here is actually Sweden, Germany, and Spain, and France, and the Netherlands and Canada are tied for not trusting Trump. Australia's up there also at 77%. Turkey's on the list at 80%, and then so is Mexico, actually at 91%. So they were the leader there. I'm in Korea. That's at 67%. So you actually still have some people who, still trust Trump a bit, but the majority don't. Again, it's 67. And then if you're curious who really, really likes Trump, I guess it's Israel and Nigeria. And for some reason, Kenya and Hungary. I actually not sure exactly why. And I mean, the Israel one I can figure out. That one's pretty easy. But the other ones, I mean, you can make some conjectures, and I'll let you guys be the judge of that kind of stuff. I'll just say this: Trump is corrupt. Who doesn't know that? Maybe his supporters don't, I guess I should say. But for the rest of us, people around the world, for the sane people in the USA, it's obvious. And actually, it's quite interesting because Musk before was calling out Trump's bill as being like, yo, the numbers don't add up. It's deficit spending, more national debt. And I mean, Musk was even threatening to like release Epstein kind of stuff if you've been following the story. Musk has actually apologized publicly, has deleted a bunch of the anti-Trump posts. No, seriously, he did. And basically what it ends up being is that Musk is the biggest welfare queen there is. I mean, essentially, his companies are dependent on government subsidies. And so I think Trump has significant leverage over Musk. And on top of that, could you hit Musk on his how can you say it, shady immigration pass? We'll put it that way. If you don't know, Musk and I went to the same school. We're about the same age. I don't know Musk personally, but I do know Musk's story. He has multiple passports. He came into the USA from Canada and then effectively misused his student visa or overstayed, however you want to state this, because he went from Penn, where I went, and then he went to Stanford, did not enroll in classes, and then basically was here in USA illegally because you're supposed to be studying, right? You're supposed to be a student, and he ended up starting his companies that way and then circumventing the system. So, someone, and Trump's the same sort of situation where how they got Melania in, I think they got her in on a Einstein visa, which is supposed to be, like for, really smart people, scientists, exceptional people, but, Melania's this model or whatever. But these kind of people, they are hypocrites. That's the easiest way to describe it. I understand to the MAGA people, they don't get any of the words that I say. They just look at me and they can't imagine that someone who's not white speaks perfect English. Trust me, guys, I hear it. I see it in the comments. I lived in USA. I know how these people are. Trust me, I really get it more than you know. And I know how the Trumps and Musks are. These are the type of guys that lie nonstop. They're total hypocrites. They don't do their homework. Basically, they're dumb as rocks. And they pay other people to do things. And these people are born rich. That's essentially what this ends up being. You're born rich and you just hire people to do the work for you. And you just pretend all the time. But anyone who actually, can just listen to them, you realize these guys are total morons. And it's frustrating. And it's, again, obvious to the rest of the world. It's obvious to me. And if you're watching, it's probably obvious to you, the amount of corruption. But you still have to talk about this stuff because it is so widespread. This is not even a headline because there's so many other stuff that Trump's doing, but like all his crypto affairs and stuff like that. I mean, if this was any other politician, this would be massive scandal. Basically, Trump's like, doing all these crypto projects. If you don't know what crypto is, consider yourself lucky, but it's just basically magic internet money for corruption, money laundering, etc. And he's passing all these laws so he can profit off said things. The whole situation is frankly sad, but I want to go over it because I think it matters to talk about this stuff. And, whenever your support goes down, you just drum up whatever war and get people distracted. And then we start, concentrating on that. So this is the other headline: Israeli attack on Iran could come within days. Yeah, U.S. and Israeli officials said, and we're already evacuating U.S. personnel. So I do hope people are safe. And unfortunately, though, this is the world that we live in. So just want to share some thoughts on this. Want to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.